Oh,
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dead Funny Review Show. I am your host, Chris, and today we are going to talk about the Diablo 2 Resurrected beta. Obviously, the game's not out yet. It doesn't come out until, I think, like the third to last week of September, right before New World. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and talk about the Diablo 2 Resurrected Remaster. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge Diablo fan. It was the game that got me started on computer gaming to begin with. My first introduction to computer gaming, my first introduction to Blizzard, Diablo 2 was where it all started for me. To the point where I held Diablo 2 on a platform of anytime I'd play any kind of dungeon crawler or anything like that, I was always like, man, I wish this was as good as Diablo 2, or man, dude, I wish, this is going to be the Diablo 2 for Xbox or whatever. So they released a beta. The only really disappointing problem that I had with the beta was that all the characters weren't available. I didn't play the open beta. I only played the closed beta because I did purchase the game. But yeah, so with the closed beta, you could not play as the assassin or the necromancer. So that was weird. But you did get to play with every other character, which was great. That was fine. But moving on, you got to play with the first two acts. I'm just trying to think everything that was in it. From just kind of jumping into it and going, I guess I should go ahead and start off with my views here. For a shot-for-shot remaster, I could not have been happier. Nothing changed, which was great, besides the graphics. And the graphic change was insane. They even did the whole toggle view mode where you could see, old to new graphics just to really give you that, hey, we know you remember it, but this is, in case you really, really don't remember it, this is what the game looked like, which was really, really cool. I'm glad that they did that. Definitely gave me a really good perspective of, what the graphics were back whenever it first came out, because obviously it's been a while since I played it. The restoration to the cinematics was fucking phenomenal. Morius looked great. The Wanderer looked great. That whole scene whenever they first meet in that pub was just fucking, it looks so good, and it's got me really excited for when we get deeper in the game and we see more cinematics that have to do with Tyrael and stuff like that. It's gonna be awesome. That being said, as far as the actual gameplay goes, I thought was great. I had zero issues with. There was definitely some hiccups here every once in a while, but once again, it was a beta, where I'd have some crazy lag or looping going on, stuff like that, just normal shit that you would prepare to find in a beta. That being said, I guess kind of where I'm indifferent on this is there's a lot of people complaining. And I want to say I understand it, and at the same time I don't. And here's why. Complaining about lack of new features. Recently, my favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy VII, in case you guys don't know, has gotten its remake. Its official remake. Now, when we look at specific words, and unfortunately as gamers, the developers haven't been this is specifically what this means. So moving forward, every game that does this is what this means, right? So remake, perfect examples. Resident Evil 2 remake and Final Fantasy VII remake. Square Enix looked at it as, we can remake parts of the story. Now, I've talked about this on the Final Fantasy VII remake. If you have our review show, if you haven't watched that, go watch that. And I've talked about it through countless podcasts as well. When you play that game, there are aspects of it where I'm very happy with what they did. They expanded on stories that weren't expanded on to begin with. Stuff with Wedge, Biggs, Jesse, da 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 da. Stuff like that made sense. It made the game better in the sense that in the original they were just polygons that were basically just thrown away because you didn't really care. They were just three people in Avalanche that had a name. That was basically all you knew about them. So it gave more depth to the characters, which in turn gives more depth to the game, which is healthy. Where I didn't care was the freedom liberties they took with changing a lot of the shit with this whole like whisper thing going on, and on top of that all this other shit with like the gigantic Kingdom Hearts fucking boss at the end. Like I didn't care for any of that. That wasn't entertaining to me. I didn't like it because I was under the impression that it was a remake, right? When I hear the word remake, which is going to sound totally... We'll get there. Whenever I hear the word remake, in my mind, I think about, like, let's go to a restaurant, right? Fucking, I order fucking cheeseburger, fucking, it comes out as fucking chicken sandwich. Oh, shit, I did that wrong. Cool, let me remake this for you. Like, that's what I think. I'm going to get exactly what it is I'm thinking I'm going to get because the word remake. Like, we're going to remake this. I didn't see it as something completely different. Now, to be fair, I understand where they come from when they talk about the fact that if everybody wanted a shot for shot same thing, it would have been a remaster. And I get that. That makes sense to me. Remastering a game to just give it the graphic update makes sense that we would call that a remaster. But that's not what we were talking about with Final Fantasy VII because we looked at it as a remake, as in they were going to be adding pieces. Whenever you create a game and you put it out and then you have to release a gigantic fucking book to explain things that don't make sense because you didn't have time to put it in the game, that's where the remake makes more sense, because then it's like, okay, cool, now we have time to take our time. Like back whenever 7 came out, like Final Fantasy was doing good, but like there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. 7 is what put them on the map. Like, they stopped being just a JRPG. 7 put them on the fucking map. There's a reason why it's as big as it is. I understand that everybody sits indifferent because everybody's got their own Final Fantasy. It doesn't matter. 7, there's not a Final Fantasy that's been as fucking popular as 7 or as famous as 7. It doesn't exist. Name another Final Fantasy that has book series and fucking movie and da 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 da, and multiple games spin off of it. Anyways, not the point. Getting back to the point here. So when we look at a remaster, the resurrected edition of Diablo 2, we really shouldn't look for anything else than graphical updates. Like, to want to add all these functions in, like game chat, da 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 da. I get, in like hindsight, it's like it makes sense that it would be there because it's a new game. But at the same time, like, it doesn't necessarily need to be there either. Like, back then it didn't exist because it didn't exist. So if we're just remastering a game, I would rather them put all their time, focus, and resources into making the game look fucking amazing by today's standards versus let's add all this new shit, because that's a slippery slope. Like, all right, cool, we added this. Oh, you know what else would be a cool idea? Oh, you know what else would be a cool idea? Oh, you know what else would be a cool idea? And I feel like that's when we start to get the destruction games. So I feel like if they would have added all this stuff, it would be the exact same fucking reviews going on, except flip-flopped, where it's like, they changed everything. They changed this. They changed that. Why did they change this? They should have kept this the same. Like, some of y'all motherfuckers can't be pleased, man. Like, holy shit. This was supposed to be a remaster of the game. They're not going to put a shit ton of time into this because they're trying to fucking come out Diablo 4. They fucked up with Diablo Immortal. Blizzard has been by far in some kind of fuck fest for a while now. So it's something to keep us entertained to buy enough time for them to fucking do Diablo 4. It's not supposed to be this brand new groundbreaking fucking video game to come out of Blizzard. It's just a remaster of what a lot of people feel is one of the most iconic games to come from Blizzard besides WoW. So it makes sense that they're not going to put too much into it. I mean, they're going to give us the exact same game that we all already played, except once again, it's going to look like it's a game that would have came out this day and age, not back in fucking what 2000. Yeah, fucking it's been 20 years, 21 years. So like I said, it's frustrating because like when we have developers that actually do listen to our feedback, which is very fucking important. As a community, we like really need to understand to come together because these messages come across completely misconstrued whenever it's I don't know the best way to say it, but basically it's like the New World syndrome, right? With New World, there was so much feedback from these streamers who were pissed off about something that the majority of the game players thought was done very well and liked. But money talks. So Amazon, being the fucking developer, is going to listen to the streamers who realistically is kind of some fucking weird shit going on there because Amazon owns Twitch about how to create their game, which sucks for everybody else who was like, no, this was fucking. There were way more people that loved the game the way it was than there were the streamers who complained about specific things like PvP. So it really fucking sucks. And when we have game developers who don't have a bias, if you will, we need to, as a community, be able to relay the message that needs to be relayed. All that really should have been said to Blizzard at this point, like the only thing they took out of the actual game was the fact of playing LAN, which realistically is not something that anybody does anymore, like at all. So that's not that big a deal, but like to be like, oh, I want this feature in. Oh, I want this feature in. Oh, I want this feature. Now I understand the ladder thing. The ladder thing, that's fair enough. That was something that was in the system. A lot of people liked. A lot of people used. I wasn't that big into it. I did it a couple times. I was like, it's not for me. I'd rather just play with my friends and then fucking have like a fucking god tier character. Da da da. That being said, that I can understand. Everything else, it's like, let's not add all this new shit because then it's like, where does that buck stop? Then we get fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, like I said, when we look at this game being a remaster, I don't think they missed a mark. I do not think they missed a mark. I played it. I felt like it was Diablo 2. It looked like it was Diablo 2. It played like it was Diablo 2. The only difference is that the graphics were drastically better, which makes sense. That's what they set out to accomplish. So, my overall opinion, they didn't miss a mark. This game was absolutely fucking flawless. However, I do feel the price is kind of steep. Because they're bundling it with Diablo 3, and I think that that's just to kind of patent the Diablo 3 sales a little bit more, which I feel is kind of bullshit. Diablo 3 did not do anywhere near as well as I think they wanted it to. I didn't really care for it that much. I know that the community base was kind of mixed on it. I think everybody loved it when it first came out because it was like, oh, cool. Finally, here we are. And then as people started playing it, there was a lot less under the hood than I think everybody originally thought. So I know for a fact it didn't do as well as they wanted it to, but, is what it is. So the reason why that sucks is for, those who don't have Diablo 3, they now get it. But at the same time, it's like, how much would this game realistic? Like, I feel like this could be a $20 game. And I would be a lot happier with that than paying like, the fucking $40 that I had to pay to pick up the game just to get a game I already own that I don't care about and I don't play. So I really do think they should have just sold an option by itself where it was like you can just buy Diablo 2 versus you buy Diablo 2 and you get Diablo 3, or the master package where you buy Diablo 2, you get Diablo 3 and all Diablo 3's fucking DLC. It's like, all right, so either way, I'm going to get a game that I'm not going to play that I don't care about. Sweet. Not that the money is a fucking issue, just still, it's like, give me an option for what it is that I want to buy if you're going to fucking sell me a game. Other than that, I mean, that's really my only complaints was the price point. And, I mean, like I said, I understand the ladder system. I'm not necessarily complaining about it because I could care less. It doesn't really affect me. I didn't really participate in the original, and I'm not going to participate in the new one. It's just not. But I do understand where people are upset. I get that. That's completely fine. It was nice to be able to play my Paladin again. Please, for the love of God, Diablo 4, put the goddamn Paladin in there. I understand that the Templar was supposed to be my fucking Diablo 3 version of the Paladin, and it was ass. So Diablo 4, the Paladin would be great, please. Very nice to have that character back. I mean, seeing the Necromancer, the Druid, everybody the way that they were back in Diablo 2 is really, really nice to see. Like I said, I would have liked to have been able to play the Necromancer. I don't know if he was available in the open beta or not. But I was like I said, I only did the closed. That being said, I mean, I'll play the game when it comes out. I'll play the fuck out of it before New World. Like I said, I think it's like a week before New World is when it comes out. So I got a week to run through all the acts and fucking be able to see what they've done in completion to my game, and then give you guys more of a deeper, thoughts and views on it then, because I don't want to go and give too much before the actual game itself comes out, because once again, this was a beta. It's really hard to sit here and judge things based off of a beta, because once again, you have to remember betas are sent out to be tested, to make adjustments. So you can't judge it as final finished product. I'm not going to judge this one as final finished product because it wasn't. That being said, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Once again, everything else I've completely enjoyed about the game. I like the game. Super excited that I bought it and can't wait to actually play it to completion when it comes out. If you kind of want to see where in my opinion, the most iconic, one of the most iconic dungeon crawlers ever, I'd say pick it up. I mean, you'll have to download the Blizzard launcher if you don't already have that, but I mean, it was well worth it. I had a lot of fun playing it whenever I played it. Like I said, it felt just like the old game. Didn't skip a beat there, and I think that it would be great, especially for a generation that missed out on that, to pick it up and try it there. Yeah, it was a good game. Definitely a good game. But other than that, like I said, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you like, subscribe. Also turn on notification. That way you get notified next time we upload another video. Can't talk. Also, make sure to comment and let me know your thoughts if you played the game. If not, let me know whether or not you plan on picking it up, or if you even played the original. More than happy to have those conversations with you down there. And also in the links below, there's the Twitches and the Twitters. But at the end of all this, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next time.